How long does it last? Here in our setting, she's asking how long it lasts. I had already told them, but I'll repeat. In countries where we have washing machines, we've tested it for 7 years. Someone is using that pad for 7 years. But we've said in Uganda, we've now run 2 years of testing it. We are finding out how long it can go, but we know that this product can last for 5 years, even beyond. You know, it's just the same way I'll buy this blouse, and then Barbara will buy hers, and then we shall go home. Everyone will wash it differently. They'll squeeze. The way you treat your dress really decides how long it's going to stay. So that's how long that pad can really take you.
I took some time on this, ladies, because I wanted us to understand because something is used in America or elsewhere, it doesn't mean it is the best for you. There is a simple solution, a cheap solution, a manageable solution for you. Thank you very much, Ms. Naiga. I know I'm running out of time here, so I am going to move on to Flavia. Flavia, I know there's a lot you do in your space at AGA. Kindly shed some light what it is that you do and what interventions you've put in place to undo this taboo around menstruation.
Thank you very much, and my predecessors, thank you for shedding the light on menstrual health in this country. I work for Action Group for Health, Human Rights and HIV AGA, and my name is Chomkama Flavia, and I lead the team. I will say we do a lot of awareness creation on health. We do a lot of community social monitoring, assessing the state of health services, but we also do health financing advocacy. So we talk to government, we talk to local governments, we talk to partners to increase money for health. And starting from the top is that on a day like this day, today, 300 women are having menstruation. They are in their periods. And globally, about 500,000 women menstruate on a monthly basis. So it means that menstrual health is critical, because if every day a woman is in their, 300 women are in their menses, that means we need to target this population, because menstrual health is related to reproduction, and therefore safe menstrual health leads to better reproductive health. So we also know that governments receive funds from donors to invest in the Ministries of Education and Ministry of Health to ensure that we have money to educate on menstrual health, to train teachers on menstrual hygiene, to provide menstrual products. But we also realize that while our government says they want to provide pads, they have not met that commitment. You remember in 2016, the First Lady, who is also the Minister of Education, said they would provide pads to all schools, and particularly to those who are needy. But we are yet to see that forthcoming. But also when we talk to our legislators, our budget for health falls short of the health needs of this country. And we know about 7.8% of the budget for health goes to reproductive health. And reproductive health includes delivering, antenatal, includes abortion, safe abortion, it includes menstrual health, it includes education on health, prevention of diseases like sexual transmitted infections like HIV. It includes all those things that concern our reproductive system and the needs of the system. But it is difficult to go to that budget and you say this money is going for menstrual hygiene. We know the Ministry of Water is also saying they are doing something about menstrual hygiene. But it's difficult to touch this particular budget and you say this is money for menstrual hygiene. So it's important that in schools, we start thinking about having small budgets for eventualities, because there are some children who come to school and they don't have pads at all. or maybe they could have, but they have not even been made aware of this menstruation. But I know these days it is better because the schools are doing a lot of talk, the NGOs are doing a lot of talk, we are doing a lot of mobilization together with Rahul. We are mobilizing menstrual products to give to the needy and ensure that the needy remain in school and they don't drop out because they don't have a pad. But I also want to tell us, I for one, I think we need to do an integrated kind of intervention. We have what we call menage to menopause. I think what we are doing as a government is doing things piecemeal. When you are born, they teach you about being a child, then they tell you when you reach adolescence, they start saying, do this, don't do that. You reach menstruation, we are now talking menstruation. But what goes on in that reproductive health chain? You start menstruation, by the time you know it, you are pregnant, you are having a baby, by the time you know it, you have maybe a menstrual or another STI or a disease affecting reproduction, which you are never even talked about, that was never related to the menstrual hygiene we are talking about. And we know that sometimes menstrual poor hygiene causes cancer, and we are not talking about it. And then we also know, those of us who are in 40, we are perimenopause, we are getting our menstruation on and off, and we are going into hormonal changes, and then when we are 50, they die off. And then we grapple with the other consequences that are triggered by the end of menstruation. For me, I think I am 53 and I'm liberated. I no longer go for menstruation, but I had my time when I went through menstruation. It was good while it lasted, but I no longer have it. But I think the way to go is to integrate the information from when we are born. We age every day of our lives. We don't just start menstruation from the blue. So we need to do it as a system, as a process. From when you grow up to adolescence, grow the breasts, start menstruation, get pregnant, go to perimenopause, and then you stop bleeding. So I think it's important that we interest ourselves and our policymakers to invest and engage in reproductive health right from menarche to menopause. But I would like us to continue talking about menstruation because it's where we are. The majority of Ugandans are, and they need to know and protect themselves from other consequences that come with poor menstrual hygiene. Thank you.
Menarche to menopause. Chigambo chipia. I did not know. Thank you very much, Flavia. But also thank you for shedding light on the fact that menstrual health is an ecosystem. Now I'm using languages from the bank. It is an ecosystem all the way from birth to when we actually say goodbye to this world. Policymakers, Honorable Derek, are you taking notes? Parliament. All right, so to food demo government, we are okay, government is doing, we are, things are slow. However, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And Sheila, you're that light, darling. So from MasterCard Foundation, you have had everything from the policymakers to the advocates to the challenges. What are you doing to bridge those gaps with MasterCard Foundation?
The pressure,
Good pressure.
the pressure is getting worse. So good afternoon once again, young people. My name is Sheila Chinahiwe and I work with MasterCard Foundation. Barbara, if you'll allow me, I'm going to do, I think what we call a shameless plug. I want to talk about the foundation briefly.
That's okay.
Because a lot of what we are doing in Uganda right now is for you guys. It's for the young people. So let me talk about the foundation briefly, who we are, what holds our heart, and how we want you to be part of everything we are trying to do on the African continent, but specifically in Uganda. So MasterCard Foundation is a charity. I'm sure maybe some of you have heard of it. Who has heard of MasterCard Foundation before? Okay. No one. Okay. We need to do more then. So MasterCard Foundation is a charity that is based both in Canada and also in different countries on the African continent. And our focus is on empowering young people through education and skills, and also through access to finance, so that they are able to acquire work opportunities that they find dignified and fulfilling for them, and so that they can improve their overall livelihoods. And some of the programs you may have heard of you heard of the Scholars Program? Anyone who has heard of the Scholars Program? All right, cool. So the Scholars Program is one of the programs that we support through some of our partners, one of them being Makerere University. And it basically looks at how we can enable academically gifted young people to go through the education system in instances where them and their families may not have the financial support to make that possible. So basically, we provide scholarships to these young people to be able to access higher education. So if you are a young person and you're coming from a community and a family that may not necessarily have the resource to reach that higher level of education, there is opportunity to get those scholarships through some of the partners that we work with. Another program that I could speak briefly about here is a program that's looking at getting young people into work. So by 2030, most of you will be in the workforce. God willing, all of you will be in the workforce and you will need jobs. So what we are trying to do is understand the landscape. We know you're going through school, but then the jobs that you may think you will find at the end of the tunnel may not necessarily be there. So we are working with partners to see how we can create those jobs. And by 2030, we've said that we want to see 4.3 million young people, who will probably be most of you in this room, be in work that you find dignified and fulfilling. So we want to enable that process. And so looking at what that looks like is what we've been doing in Uganda, and we've been working on doing that and are looking to work to do that until 2030. And we do this through our partners. We do not implement these programs directly. So if you have some time and some access, please Google MasterCard Foundation, learn about our programs. If you have questions, there is also opportunity to ask. I encourage you all to do that. So what are we doing when it comes to issues related to menstrual health of young people? We understand that even if our mission coming in is now to help young people access, say, education and skills, help young people access work opportunities, this cannot operate alone. You cannot say that you will be comfortable in school if you do not have access to some of these things. So in our programs, we are becoming more intentional, and these are things that we also learned on the way. Because coming into Uganda, we just thought to ourselves, hey, we're going to give these guys jobs, we're going to make sure, young people have employment, we're going to make sure we make the environment conducive to them, education conducive to them. But what does this really mean for a young person, and what does this mean for a young woman in particular? We have to make sure that her space in which she's operating in school is conducive. If, for example, she's telling a story about her friend who had her period and was embarrassed and bullied, how then through our programs are we injecting resourcing and finance that ensures that we are having conversations with the relevant people around issues to do with menstruation, and that we are also ensuring that through our programs we are providing some of these different tools that empower young people and young women in particular to speak up, and also that other duty bearers within the school system are able to really protect and give this information to these young people while they're there. So we are now integrating some of these things within our programs. When we talk about some of the stories we've had here around refugees and access, we do have some programs within refugee communities and host communities, and we're also looking at how we can ensure situations like having to share toilets between boys and girls is no longer happening. So what I'm basically saying is that it is an awareness that we have as a foundation, and because we are focused on now really integrating elements that ensure that a young person has that holistic support on their journey in education and their journey even in the world of work, we are now resourcing. And when I say resourcing, I mean financially also resourcing efforts that look at this. So when we start speaking to the policy actors, what we now need to start doing more as a foundation is now starting to have those conversations around what does this mean to have policy that is inclusive, policy that speaks to addressing some of these challenges, and how can we, as the foundation, kind of leverage our ability to convene the different actors in the space, whether it is from the private sector, whether it's from government, whether it's from school, and most importantly, you young people. How can we have you at the forefront of having conversations around your menstrual health and what you need, and how we can start financially prioritizing around that. And another element I want to really speak on is around our focus as a foundation in relation to the private sector. We know that for young people to really thrive in the world of work or even in the education system, we needed to take a more private sector focused approach. So what does this mean when it comes to elements of menstrual health, hygiene, and really investment around that? We're starting to really have conversations how we can bring the private sector on board to also be as invested in this as we are as other actors. So how can we now start having conversations around financing some of these elements where we are seeing gaps? Because we understand that in as much as the government may have the onus and may have the responsibility to provide this, there are also challenges around resourcing. So what we want to do is now to say, let's come in as a foundation to see how we can convene and start having these conversations. And in our programs, let's have other actors, you know. We're not now only looking at the private sector to provide these opportunities, but let's have other actors that are focused on sexual reproductive health that are also part of the efforts to collaborate and be able to provide opportunities that are more holistic, so that as a young person is in school, these are not things that she also has to worry about. As a young man is also in school, he has a scholarship, he understands the different challenges that maybe his schoolmates who are female may also be facing when it comes to this period, and he's also able to prepare himself as a young man that will be a father and a husband to understand all of these different aspects. So for us, it is more of a holistic manner of support, and that is what we are looking at when we think about the role we can play in this space. I think from your facial expression, I've run out of time. So allow me to stop here. I'm available to have conversations. We can chat after. And again, our information is online. Please look it up and see what opportunities and programs could be out there that you could take advantage of. Thank you so much for the platform, and thank you for looking so lovely and sharing openly today.
Thank you so much, Sheila. You know, it is difficult to speak when lunch is calling. Some of us have begun calling our ancestors. Let them die. They died. Stop calling them. So, let's stand up before we get into the question. Stand up, guys. Stand up. Okay, so I am, you can also be very simple. I'm going to call a school, the school screams and sits down. Are we ready? Tugenda kulya. Namwe mumpe ku vibe. Feba kadde ate you people are showing me you're older than me. All right, Mbogo College. Sibawulira. Where is Mbogo College? Muli basatu mweka. Mukube namwe ku kalere. Mbogo College. Okay, Jonan Schools. Jonan Schools is only one person. The teacher of this school needs to discipline the students. Universal High School. Yeah, no wonder. I think this is Ibn Masood High School. Yes, Wakiso Secondary. Wakiso Teliwo. Kasangati. Hana. Boston International. Boston International. Do you know where Boston is? Do you know where Boston is? Abantu be Boston namwe tebasmusoke muyimuke namwe muveo. Boston International. Tebagenda batwala America mwe. St. Elizabeth. Yes. Kisasi College. Kisasi namwe. Okay. Muyenga High. Yes. St. Elizabeth. St. Elizabeth and Namilyango. Namilyango temsobola kubeera. One man, my panelists. Do we have questions? I have 10 minutes. Oh, what school did I miss? Sorry, Tebaba representing the... Arnold, what is your school? Bishop Cipriano. The food had better be good. All right, we have 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes for any questions for our panelists. Otherwise, guys, you have people from government. You have policy makers. You have donors. You have people who actually have businesses. This is your platform to get to know them. So I am going to take 5 questions. I'm going to take 5 questions. Nabagambye, you only have one chance to show off. So show off in a good way, please. Sikumalambo nkulabye, and there is no value. So let me take 5 questions. I don't know who's going to help me with the mic. Any of our panelists, please, just one question. Don't tell us stories. We can have stories at lunch, and let us know which panelist you're asking. Okay, where is the hand? Who's helping me move? That hand is so far now, we need to come forward. Let me start here.
Good afternoon. My question goes to the Member of Parliament. Okay. My name is Zua Hassan from Ibn Masood High School, and my question goes to the Member of Parliament. The question goes that we have heard that the government have imposed taxes on those sanitary implements. So isn't that another way of making it difficult for these young ladies and those adult ladies to access those equipments?
Excellent. Let me take another one before. They've loved your question. Yes?
Hi. I wanted to ask the lady in pink. Who are you? I'm called Halima. Hannah International School.
Excellent. Your question?
I wanted to ask, you said we can use reusable pads, but if we use them for more than 2 years, can't we get UTI, infections, candida, such stuff?
Excellent question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Katrin Mahor from Universal High School.
You get the man with you. Your name is?
Katrin
Catherine.
from Universal High School. My question goes to maybe the ladies at the front. Yeah. What do you think makes tampons infamous?
What makes tampons famous?
Infamous.
Infamous. Oh, infamous. Oh, interesting. Okay. 2 questions for you. Do I have another one? Yes.
Good evening,
Nice to see
guys.
that guys asking questions. And you are? Good afternoon.
My name is Mona Emmanuel from Mona Emmanuel
Emmanuel.
Okay, let's put the mic to the, so that we hear you.
from Seng. I wanted to ask, there are women members, when is Natural Menstrual Day?
When is National Menstrual Day?
Yes.
But shouldn't you answer that today? But okay, let's leave that there. Okay, let me have one last one. And that's a good question, actually. Huh? Let me have a guy, yes. Have I had 2 guys?
Good afternoon. I'm hearing the talk about menstruation, but can we truly shine light? What is happening? What is truly happening? What is menstruation? I want the people up there to explain what is menstruation, because I'm hearing menstruation. What's really going on?
What class are you? You're in S4. Did you take science classes? You missed science classes. Your school has a problem. What school do you go to? Where is the head teacher? The Ministry of Education. This child does not know what menstruation is. S4. Hallelujah. Banange. Okay. So, like I said, I think let's first take the question, the policymaker. I think let's start with the policymaker question before I go to the 2 questions, unless if anyone wants to add, yes, to those.
Oh yes, thank you so much. About taxes. Well, I'm on this panel, but I am a member of parliament, not representing government. So I'm not here on behalf of government. We as the shadow government came out and opposed the taxes on pads as the alternative, that is the shadow government, and we put it clear. So I'm not representing government. Though these taxes were passed, and probably I do not want to address it, I do not want to talk to you like we are on a political panel, because you're students. So I'm not going to address you as yes, I'm not twisting it around. As members of parliament, I, as Nyako Derrick, member of parliament for Makindye East, representing the people of Makindye East, we opposed the tax. But government, because they have the numbers, so they managed to come up with the taxes. We need to be honest with these young people. Of course, there are more opportunities to reverse the decision, and we want to convince. How I wish we had so many members of parliament invited for this occasion, so that they can hear the cries and also take up this information. However, I'm going to take it up to make sure that I inform them more. So I would like to call upon the partners, please kindly invite the members of parliament so that they can take part of such discussions, so that they can really know where the problem is and how they are affecting these female young people as they grow up. Thank you.
Very much. Maybe just for me, lastly there.
How do we join? So for example, if he has that question about taxes, if he wants to join the youth forum, is it possible for him to join the youth forum so that he understands how taxes affect, for example, the sanitary towels and the young ladies?
Well, advocacy, we can use all spaces. You can use Twitter to communicate to government. You can use your spaces to make sure that you address government on your concerns. Well, as well, on the youth forum, we have participants and representatives from schools that at the end of the day we have engagements with. But however, this goes to government and where their priority is. Is it taxes? Do they want taxes? Are these taxes going to be directed to free pads, sanitary pads? If it were these taxes going to be directed to free sanitary pads, it would be okay, because we would, at the end of the day, extend them freely to schools. But since it is not directed that way, the priority is not to make sure that the girls are safe at school, then I won't take it for a political debate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. You answered amicably. Ms. Naiga, you have a very interesting question there.
Yeah, sure. Someone from HANA International wants to know if I use a reusable pad for 2 years, am I not becoming vulnerable and so easy to get infections? I will answer you boldly and say if you specifically use safe pad, you will not get infections. Like I said, in the interest of time, pass by our stall. You will see the fabric that we use, and I will encourage all of us here in this house to go online. Whatever question you have about safe pad will be answered there. Even though you ask how to wash safe pad, a demonstration is there. You will not get infections if you're using safe pad as your reusable product.
So it has everything to do with hygiene.
Everything.
If you clean your panty properly, you can clean the pad properly.
Trust me.
Tuchitegedde. Sheila.
I'm answering a question not as a professional.
So Discovery is up against Teletubbies. Here come Teletubbies now moving forward. They have space through the center. They have a chance to strike this one with power. Very good defensive work, and they still have the ball as well, piling the pressure. The youngsters in green. Second opportunity. Another bite at the cherry, and should have done better this time, but it was always rising. It's a corner kick. You wonder what this will mean to these youngsters as it's taken short. Teletubbies, shot 10. Comes through the center, trying to find his way through a forest of legs. They have lost possession. It's picked up again, as now they must do a bit of defending. The Discovery side trying to discover themselves. Good long ball through the center. Should have scored. Oh, what a chance.
Lacking a bit of precision there.
What a chance.
That in-swinger coming through, but of course the striker on the end of it not putting a bit of precision on that. But they will have another chance to go through.
It's been picked up through the center. The Teletubbies still top of this game. Now trying to strike from distance, and that was suddenly a brilliant strike as they take the lead. The Teletubbies, absolutely no chance to the Discovery goalkeeper. Now they have a huge chance of making it to the next round, but it is still a very, very tense encounter.
Well, from where that came, Andrew, I cannot tell you, but I'll tell you it was a wonderful strike from the Teletubbies. And that's how they've been performing ever since they stepped on this turf. And they continue to show that at the moment.
Come Teletubbies once again, looking for goal number 2, twisting and turning, looking for shooting space, finally gets it. Second chance. Now the clearance this time a bit more important from the shot 11 of this Discovery side. Into the midfield. Here comes the green wall, taken well, and suddenly picked up well by the goalkeeper. Aren't Teletubbies in real life not supposed to be very strong?
Well, I tell you, the Teletubbies here are doing exactly that, what you're talking about, showing strength, but also skill as well, and also showing the precision in front of goal.
And he's forcing another save from the goalkeeper. That is 3 saves in, well, pretty much 3 minutes, showing how dominant the green side are. So he's taken shot. Oh, good turn, looking for space, trying to get into the area. Good work from the captain as well. Now looking for his lead striker, jumps over that one, but not the best tactic as the goalkeeper was quickly off his line. into space. Quick interchange of passes. They are a very confident side now. They know they have the lead. All they have to do is manage this game and probably try to score goal number 2. Perfect control out wide. Shots to, he's got shooting space now. Let's fly, but the captain blocks it again. Here comes the Discovery side. They really are struggling with keeping possession through that midfield.
Well, I like the fact that they're putting in a shift. They're putting in some strong energy. They're throwing bodies on the line. Discovery not allowing to at least let Teletubbies just have an easy run. And you can see that in the way they've managed to close down the spaces in the middle of the field. Hopefully they try to maintain that even in the back line. But it's looking so good for the Teletubbies. Oh, that's insane. Now the Teletubbies have a chance.
You get a feeling the Discovery side is playing more of the long ball, while the Teletubbies prefer keeping it on the ground. I wonder if it's because of a packed midfield that sometimes you have to find your way around it. Here comes the green wall again, twisting and turning, bringing one into the area, a bit too high. Comes the Teletubbies again. That is miscontrol, taken forward. There's only one blue shot out there, so not enough to trouble those in green. Now rushing through the center. Options on the right. Options on
Taboos. Where do we put the pad? It covers the vagina. Let's normalize these things, because one taboo in another, we cannot have a taboo in a discussion of undoing a taboo. Can we normalize when we are discussing these things? Say it as it is. I know when we go back home, our cultures and traditions, it's difficult to say it in Ruchiga, maybe because of the stigma that it comes with. But I think as we discuss this in English, it is easier to even explain, but we remove the taboo from the undoing the taboo we are doing. So the next issue is about what is menstruation. When a girl gets into puberty, the ovaries become ripe and a woman is ready to sire children. So the ovary releases an egg on a monthly basis. So when it releases it, the uterus, which is the place that holds the fetus, if fertilization happens, prepares. You know, it's like when you are going to dig, you prepare that now I'm going to plant beans. So the egg comes. If there is no sperm to fertilize and stick in the uterus, then that preparation is cleaned. That lining gets out of the body through menstruation. So that preparation that had been prepared is cleaned, and the uterus goes back to its normal waiting period until another egg is released. So I know you know when you asked, but I also want to share that I personally had my period when I was 17 and in senior 4. So it's possible, because whenever the old girls would be discussing, they would chase us because we were small and we didn't know much, because those days we were not discussing them so much. Our parents did not tell us. You are expected to be told by our sengas, but also our sengas were very far. Our sengas are paternal aunts. But because we have moved out of that fused home, they had married very far, we didn't have sengas to tell us. So by senior 4, I just relied on the P6 and then...
Those who have packed the bags already.
Full analysis of all the games at the FIFA World Cup will be coming your way as well on NBS Sport. And just remind everyone, we are also on Saudi Plus television, which has been following all the proceedings here since morning. Don't you love it? Don't you love the fact that we have more televisions in this country that are covering sport, specifically our own?
Well, television is the way to go. I mean, we know some of these big stars because of television, because we watch them week in, week out. And why not to watch our very own, starting from these youngsters here And seeing how they, put this game of football on display, it's quite a wonderful spectacle to watch. And of course, we need more of this. That's why I say shout out to NBS Sports. Shout out to Sauti Plus for making this happen, live coverage. This is the way to go if our football is to grow to greater heights. And of course, it cannot get any bigger than the JKA Junior Tournament.
So here we go then, the second half, folks, with the Discovery side now playing from right to left, and the Teletubbies, who have the lead, playing from left to right. It will be a free kick. The referee adjudging that to be a handball. Shot 6, who is the guilty party, trying to come in for a block and save his side the blushes, and instead has given away a big chance now as those in blue, through their captain, are looking to quickly get back into this game.
Discovery trying to discover a way through, but the captain just hitting the ball wide. Of course, Teletubbies now will be asking as many questions as they can as they try to bring it forward, as they try to find
Good football out wide, yeah. They're trying to bring one into the box, but the goalkeeper was closely watching the action this time. And picked it up again through the center. They have the numbers. They suddenly have the energy. Twisting and turning. Good defensive work from the captain this time. It's been given away again. Could this be goal number 2? Good save. That was a very, very, very good save. And really, the Discovery side do know they cannot afford to go 2-0 down, because this is a knockout game, and if they don't maximize their chances, they will be in trouble.
Teletubbies, a little ambitious there. The ball just going in the hands of the goalkeeper.
Here come Teletubbies once again. They are looking for chances, and this is a good one! And it's been turned in at the extreme side as the men in green